Welcome viewers to Northeast 8 Weekly News Roundup. Following an interim report by the High Power Committee HPC, the Nagaland Cabinet on Wednesday revoked the regularization of 147 contractual appointees in the Higher and Technical Education Department. Government spokesperson KG Kania called it an extraordinary and embarrassing but necessary decision after an emergency cabinet meeting. The HPC fast-tracked its probe and protest and submitted an interim report on April 30 citing procedural lapses. Kenya said the final report is awaited but action must be based on facts, not assumptions. He admitted the cabinet was unaware of the regularization until April 21st and acknowledged departmental failures. He assured that the 147 employees would remain as contractual staff for now and hinted at future categorization based on a 2016 cabinet decision. Chief Secretary J. Alam issued a formal notification revoking the December 17, 2024 and April 10, 2025 absorption orders. Kenya thanked protesters for their restraint and urged strict adherence to procedures across departments, reaffirming the government's commitment to transparency. At a seminar titled Borders Without Concern, the Naga Struggle Against Forced Division and Surveillance held in Kohima, Naga organization, political parties, student bodies and citizens adopted a joint recommendation opposing the scrapping of the Free Movement Regime, FMR, border fencing and biometric surveillance along the Indo-Myanmar border. Organized by the Global Naga Forum GNF, the resolution urged the government of India to focus on a just political solution to the Indo-Naga issue instead of enforcing measures that alienate and criminalize indigenous ties. The border was condemned as a colonial imposition dividing ancestral Nagalands. Participants warned that surveillance and fencing would turn the homeland into a zone of fear and called for united resistance and international solidarity. They emphasized that Naga leaders must remain loyal to the people, not external pressures. FMR implemented in 2018 permits border communities to travel up to 16 kilometers into either country without documents. The resolution was signed by GNF convener Chuba Ozukam and co-convener Professor Rosemary Juvichu. The Eastern Nagaland People's Organization ENPO has submitted its position on the draft Memorandum of Settlement MOS and the Nagaland government's comments to the Ministry of Home Affairs amateur and briefed the visiting amateur team. It will also share the same with the state government. While reaffirming its demand for a separate statehood, ENPO said it is temporarily accepting the center's offer of a Frontier Nagaland Territory FNT as a 10-year arrangement subject to review. ENPO stated that FNT must enjoy full executive, legislative and financial autonomy with all state subjects under the Frontier Nagaland Territorial Authority FNTA. It proposed a shared autonomy list to avoid complications and demanded a permanent high court, more parliamentary seats, enhanced central funding and empowerment under Article 371A. Additional proposals include power sharing among tribal blocks, Deputy Chief Minister post, modernization of village guards and joint development planning with the state government. ENPO also called for amending Article 371A to incorporate FNT provisions and forming a joint monitoring committee. It urged Chief Minister Nepiriu to support the center's FNT's decision as per his public assurance. The GPR1 NSCN led by Ann Kitovi Zimomi and RM Lota reaffirmed its commitment to the 2017 agreed position, calling it the only practical path to resolving the Indo-Naga political issue. In a press statement, the group urged Naga national workers to prioritize unity and reconciliation, setting aside ego and personal grudges. The group emphasized that its Kehoy designated camp remains open to positive thinking Naga workers supporting the agreed position and clarified it bears no ill will towards absentee comrades. It also stated that while it doesn't concern itself with the government of India engagement, the ceasefire monitoring group CFMG invited Kitovi Zimomi for a meeting on April 7, 2025, leading to a one-year extension of the ceasefire on April 11, 2025. Despite efforts to reunite with former allies, the GPRN NSCN pointed out that General Ambi Nyokpao publicly rejected the ceasefire extension and excluded himself from further ceasefire discussions with the government of India. The group also criticized the Eastern Naga National Workers Association for rejecting the ceasefire in ENPO areas and dismissed claims from GPRN NSCN unification about a ceasefire extension after an April 28 meeting as baseless, stating no ceasefire has been signed with the center by that faction. The group emphasized that CFMG only facilitates the process, while the authority to grant or extend ceasefire lies solely with the Government of India and the Ministry of Home Affairs. It urged the Government of India to consider extending ceasefire or suspension of Operation SOP to non-NNPG entities supporting a solution, as GPRN NSCN remains a key member of the NNPG's working committee. Finally, the GPRN NSCN called on Naga leaders and workers to embrace humility and reconciliation, stressing that progress depends on accepting one another. Dimapur police have raised concerns over illegal lottery schemes, particularly by second-hand car dealers and real estate agents in Dimapur, Chumakitima and Newland. Commissioner of Police Kavithoto Sopi issued a press release stating that promotions like lucky draws and bumper offers violate legal frameworks and mislead customers. These activities are illegal under laws governing games of chance and public lotteries. Despite police action, the schemes continue. The public is urged to stay alert and report such cases, while businesses and media are advised to cease promoting these illegal activities to avoid legal consequences. Additionally, the sale of badges, coupons and calendars, unless government-sponsored, is also prohibited.